We're here today at Peabody Public Library with Bob Cassell, who has graciously offered to tell us some history of Whitley County. So what we'll start out with is, are you a native of Whitley County?
No.
And what brought you
Born and raised in Fort Wayne.
Ah, well, what brought you to Whitley County?
Huh?
What brought you to Whitley County?
Retirement.
Ah, nice place to just lay back and hang out.
Right,
Huh?
right.
So what township do you currently live
Richland.
in? Is that Larwell?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm about halfway between Larwell and South Whitley,
Uh-huh.
out in the boondocks.
So tell us about some of the changes to Whitley County since you've been here.
Well, now, my knowledge of what's now Whitley County goes all the way back to the mound builders, through the Indian cultures, all the way up to 1830, when they had the removal act through Congress. Then there's a period there until 1970, when I was earning my living in Fort Wayne at the Harvester. But I started to look for land then to build on after I retired. And I looked all over northern Indiana, northeastern Indiana. And I finally found just what I wanted out in Richland Township. And what I wanted is I wanted something close enough to the main roads, but far enough away that I wouldn't be engulfed in civilization. Because I wanted to set up a wildlife preserve, which I did. I built out there, best move ever made.
Well, good.
But there is so much different. Now, I picked 40 acres out there, and fortunately, I picked the right place, because most of the people that are building out there build on large tracts, which makes it nice. But I can't tell you how many houses have been in there since I built out there in shortly after 1970, and there must be on that stretch of road from 900 to 5 is about a mile, and there's at least a half a dozen new houses in there.
So that's a change.
Oh yeah.
But they haven't come clear in on you to where
No, they haven't closed in on me, and fortunately my neighbors all own about 40 acres, and it makes it nice, and boy have I got a wildlife preserve.
Very nice.
I bought out there and I had nothing but a cornfield and some woods. And I built my house and several buildings, and in fact, it's my own fault. I can't even have a garden. I've got so much wildlife.
Oh my!
I've got deer eating out in my backyard all the time.
Now, was that there when you moved there, or have you attracted that?
Oh no, I did that on purpose. I attracted that. I planted a lot of vegetation, a lot of pine trees and so forth, and a lot of feed. And it's my own fault. I brought in this feed, and I can't complain about the wildlife because it's my own fault. But it turned out to be just what I wanted. But like I say, the thing that amazes me is the number of people that are building out there. And when I bought out there, it was just farmland. It was just farmland. There were maybe 3 or 4 houses in the area there, and now it's pretty well built up with. Like I say, there's at least a half a dozen houses on the one stretch of road. But it's nice. It's turned out nice. But the thing that amazes me mostly about Whitley County is the stretch on 30. Now, when I came out here, there was nothing out there on 30. I mean, it was just farmland.
Yeah.
And now it's all of this industrial, and the big shopping centers, and this is all new.
And you're not just talking the Walmart Plaza and everything, you're talking clear to County Line Road.
Oh, right.
Sure.
Right. all of this industry that's moved in, that I didn't anticipate. I didn't think there'd be that much industry move in. I thought it would be residential, but well, people got to earn a living.
Sure.
And so it really, I'm not disappointed at all with Whitley.
So, what other changes have you noticed? I
Well,
bet
of course, Columbia City.
the Pow Wow,
Oh yeah, the Pow Wow.
that's only been what,
Huh?
6 years, 7 years?
This is our
This is
13th.
13, oh my goodness.
When I tried to start the Pow Wow, I had a lot of opposition from the Indians, and fortunately we had it. And I thought maybe a year, 2, maybe 3. This is our 13th year, and by the way, the Pow Wow is next week.
Yes,
So-
I know.
So I'm real pleased with that. That a lot of changes in Morses Park.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of changes in Morses Park, and to the better. And I'm looking forward to the cultural center they're going to put in. We hope. And like I say, that it's turned out mostly to the good. I'm well pleased with moving out here.
Now, the city of Larwell, do you do much trading or anything in the city of Larwell, or?
The city of Larwell is a dying institution. There are some new houses in there. There are some new houses in there around where the old school was, but Larwell is it's a little dying farmer town. But there used to be a feed mill for everybody. Every place you went, there was the big feed mill. Now you have a heck of a time trying to find feed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Now, the high school at Larwell, was it here when you moved here, or had it already been closed?
oh, it was here. And then they closed shortly after I came in. But
And now the kids all go to Whitco.
huh?
Now the kids all go to
Right,
Whitco.
right. Of course, the high school down there was torn down, in South Whitley. A lot of changes in South Whitley. And I think there's going to be a few more. I think there's one building going to fall in the alley before long.
Oh, no!
Oh yeah, they're having problems with the city council down there. That one building is about 6 inches lean on the big bow on the side of the building.
Oh, my.
Oh yeah.
And it's obviously a historical building. It's been there a while.
Well, I don't know how historical it is, but it's an old time building. But South Whitley is it isn't building like Columbia City. I mean, it's a not a dying town, but I think Larwell is. But there's Columbia City. It amazes me. Well, like Williams Market and so forth used to be downtown, and every place you used to go when I was a kid in Fort Wayne, why there was a grocery every block or two. But I suppose that was true out here too.
Yeah, they had Yatz's
Yeah.
and Daniel Brothers,
Yeah.
and so lots of changes just since 1970.
Yeah. And lots of changes to the good as far as I'm concerned.
Good deal.
Yeah, I'm well pleased with my decision to move in Whitley County.
So what else? What kind of social activities other than the Pow Wow do you?
Oh, I belong to the Historical Society, the Archaeological Society, and several others, AARP, and I've got a full agenda.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So there are. Let's see here. So you mentioned Williams grocery store that is no longer here.
Of course, back then, just about every corner had a filling station.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't afford it now.
Yeah. Right.
Larwell used to have Farmer's Corner, or what was the name of the tavern there? Farmer's. Oh, it burned down.
Oh, the
Farmer's Exchange.
Farmers Exchange. That was the tavern there, That was a nice tavern, but it sure did burn.
Yeah.
Killed a fireman.
Oh, it did.
Oh yeah, his fireman got killed in that fire, and
And they just never rebuilt
no,
anything to
it was never
replace it.
rebuilt. I didn't anticipate him to rebuild it.
Not a big old hoop-de-doo town in Larwell, huh?
But you can go down to, when you get a snootful, you go down to South Whitley.
Ah. Well,
They've got some pretty good, for a little town, they've got some pretty good restaurants.
South Whitley?
Yeah.
Ah. Well, and then, so, have those come and gone? Have
Yeah, well,
those
they've
changed?
changed. They've changed management and type.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, like I say, there's been a lot of changes.
So you don't think there's been like a difference in demographics so much in Larwell as, older people, younger people? Or?
I think it is, yeah, I think so. But like I say, I have hopes for South Whitley. And of course, Columbia City is a growing institution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Columbia City is going great, but poor old Larwell, I don't know.
It'll just be a white spot in the road, huh?
Yeah, right.
Let's see, what else can we talk about? Restaurants in Columbia City that
What?
the restaurants in Columbia
yeah,
City that there used to be a Penguin Point
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And was
There
that
used to be
still here?
There used to be a lot of good, there's still a lot of good restaurants.
Mhm.
But, in fact, I gotta go in and have supper in town tonight. I think I'll go to Dairy Queen.
Oh, very good.
I got a gift certificate for that.
Well, see, used to we didn't get gift certificates for every place,
Yeah,
coupons and
yeah.
stuff, so.
Yeah, like I say, again, that I'm well pleased with my move into Whitley County.
Very
But
good.
There's so much change to the better.
Well, good. We finally got a movie theater again.
Yeah, the Bones. Yeah. And right across the street's gonna be the Senior Citizen Center.
Oh, is that
Oh,
where it's
there's a
going to
big
be?
change.
There's a big change.
Yeah, because that's the place I'm active in, and that is a nice institution. It does a lot for the older people, and I just went out there and looked at it today, and it's coming along good. I would imagine I imagine it'll a month or so and we'll be into it.
Yeah, that's always, as long as I've been here, that's always been there on the corner of Van Buren
right.
and Oak Street, so that'll be a little bit of a
Yeah.
change.
But they've got a lot of good things that I hope doesn't change in Columbia City, like Kreider's Meats.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is something that you can't find in the big city.
Right. Yeah, that's a good place to go.
It makes delicious venison summer sausage.
Oh, now you just said you had a wildlife preserve.
Well, yeah, I do. You preserve them up to a point. And, we took 4 deer off the back of the place last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a lot of deer out there. In fact, I've got a lot of apple trees. Come on out, by the way. I've got bushels of apples coming along.
Oh, very good.
They're not ready yet, but they will be. I've got about, I imagine, 6 different kinds of apples.
And did you plant those
Oh,
then?
yeah. It was just a cornfield when I bought.
Wow.
And of course, I've got some beautiful apple tree. My best apple tree I grew from seed.
Really?
Yes, and it's got the best I don't have any idea what they are.
And how long did that take to bear fruit?
Pretty close 30 years now.
Wow.
Of course, it's been producing for 6-8 years now. But man, I've got berry bushes and whatever the wildlife leaves me.
And so your children did not grow up here. Do you have children?
None that I feed.
None that you feed.
No.
Oh yeah, you do. You got all those four-legged ones out there.
I'm single. I never married.
Never married.
Never
So
married.
you didn't have children to go to school here to
No.
to compare the difference.
But I'll tell you what, I do a lot of schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of lecturing on Native American history and World War II.
Mm-hmm.
I fought all over Europe in World War II as a tank gunner. And I lecture at the schools, and I can see a lot of changes in the schools.
Mm-hmm. How's that?
Better.
Better?
I really enjoy going around to the schools. And I've already got 6 speaking dates on my calendar. School hasn't even started.
Very nice. So you've seen the progression from hippies to preppies to whatever it is now.
Yeah, right.
And how long have you been speaking at the schools?
Oh, for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, ever since I came back well, since my retirement, let's put it that way, about 1970, about 30 years.
So you have seen a lot of change in the schools.
Yeah, but I would say that the schools are, a lot of people are critical of the schools, but I think the schools are doing a good job.
So when there were township schools, did you go to each one of those or several of them?
Yes.
Where now you just go to...
But not necessarily. I'll be going into Fort Wayne to some of the mainly north side. They'll be calling me before long, and I do a lecture at Huntington, Huntington High, North High, and that's a good school. I spoke to 1,700 kids last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And in the 70s and things like that, you didn't see a bunch of them protesting you? Or
No, not really.
You were always received well?
I've only ran into one girl stands out in my mind, and she was a goth.
Uh-huh.
And she and I tangled pretty well, but I snapped her garter pretty well. So yeah, I referred her to the computer. I said, you look me up. I said, you'll find everything I've told you is true. What you really set me off is she says, how do we know that what you're telling us is the truth?
Oh my.
And that was the wrong thing to say.
So have the kids become more respectful, or
I don't have a problem.
A change in the
really
children
don't have
at all?
a problem. Now, my lecture on the Native American is more open. But I get those kids in there, a class of kids on World War II, and they're paralyzed. Because the kids are not taught anything about World War II. And they come up to me and say, we had no idea that that's the way it was. In fact, I went over to Huntington North, and I got 49 thank you letters from the kids.
Wow.
And some of those letters are great.
That's wonderful.
Some of those letters are great.
That's wonderful.
So that's one of the things that changes in Whitley County.
Yeah. Speaking of changes in your Native American talks, can you tell us how the powwow has progressed since that first one 13 years ago?
The powwow, the first 4 or 5 years was a building situation. Now it's got to the point where we've got to hold down to the size we want, because we've got people coming in from all over wanting to go to the powwow, and we don't want the thing to spread to the point where it's not in control. But it's a nice little powwow now, and I'd like to see it stay there.
So the first 3 or 4 years it was very small.
Right. But
And the last few years you've been taking historical tours?
yeah, well, in fact, I hope that this gentleman comes in from Oklahoma. I'm way off the history of Whitley County.
No, because the powwow is part of history.
I hope this gentleman comes in from Oklahoma. He's the Miami tribe's historian, and I'm going to take him around on the tour.
Oh, so you're going to show him where Little Turtle
Yeah, all of these,
and the De La Balm.
half a dozen different sites are.
We may just have to follow you around.
Huh?
We may just have to grab the camera
That's all
and
right.
follow you around. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
I've got permission. I've got permission from Doc Waterfall's son to go back on his property and look at the post and fort.
Oh, very neat. Maybe you should tell us about that. I bet a lot of people in Whitley County don't know about that.
The post and fort is an area where the Eel River and the Blue River are the Eel River is the first place it's navigable with a canoe. So they would portage, and the long portage or the short portage from Fort Wayne to this area out here, and they would put their canoes in out there. It was controlled by Little Turtle's sister, Tecumseh. And she got a business head on her, and she finally had enough money from the portage that her son Jean-Baptiste Richardville was the richest Indian in America.
Really?
Yeah, but that area out there is real interesting. The French, the Indians had this trading post. Now the French reinforced it, and they finally put up a palisade, a wooden palisade around it. And then there was a firing step on the inside. You can still see the mound where the firing step is out there.
Really?
Yeah, and about 500 feet over, about 50 feet over to the side is where Little Turtle's treaty house was built. And that's an interesting area out there.
Do they find stuff?
Actually, we've done some archaeological digs out there, and we don't find much.
Don't find much?
There isn't a lot to find out there. Of course, that era there was more modern, and a lot of the artifacts that we find are prehistory. The points and the knives and the scrapers and so forth. So there wasn't a lot of artifacts lost at that time.
Right. So where else will you be taking this gentleman?
Huh?
Where else will you be taking this gentleman on your tour?
Oh, we'll go out there. I'll take him past the reserves, where the government gave back the Indians their land that they took.
And raccoon and
beaver. Raccoon is up in the northeast corner of the county, but Sikh's Village is the big one.
And that's located. I know, but we're going to tell people.
Yeah, it's if I need a map, it's out there. It's out there. It extends. Well, there's several thousand acres of it, and it's a huge. And I'll tell you an interesting little story. Sikh's Village was not given to Sikh because Sikh was not liked.
Oh.
He didn't like the white man, and they didn't like him. So they gave the reserve to Sikh's Village.
Not to him.
Yeah.
Himself,
right,
to the whole village.
Sikh, I understand, ran around with a great big bull ring in his nose.
Oh my!
And he and the white man didn't get along. Then there's a little one section reserve, Chapine. He was a spokesman for the Indian chiefs.
And that's
right on the edge of Sikh's Village Reserve.
And then Beaver is in.
Beaver is on the other side of Sikh's Village.
That's like down by Jefferson Township?
Yeah, that's up on the other side of Sikh's Village.
Okay, so we're going to...
Don't get me started on Indians, I'll go all day.
I know, but that's part of Whitley County history, so... And I brought an extra tape.
Oh, there's so much Whitley County history. It's amazing. A lot of people don't know that there was a Battle of War of 1812 in Whitley County.
And and that's right out.
Yeah, at the Page's Crossing. Yeah.
They all think it's a fun park.
Huh?
Everybody thinks Page's Crossings is just a fun park.
Right. But Coisey's father was killed there, Black Loon. Little Turtle's son.
See, we could go on.
Huh?
We could go on all day, and
we could go the rest of the day.
And I would let you. Let me see what we got here. Well, we've got plenty of time. So, whatever you would like to tell us, Bob, about Whitley County.
What do you want to know?
Just anything you'd like to tell us about Whitley County history.
Oh, well, I like the people of Whitley County. Really, I haven't encountered a lot of people that look at me and say, he's the guy from Fort Wayne. I've only been here 30 years. So
But some communities you will get that, you know, if you weren't born in that community.
Right.
But yeah, Whitley County does seem to be pretty open.
Yeah, but there are a lot of, I back up a little bit. When I was looking for my land, I looked all over northern Indiana, northeastern Indiana, and I found this land out here for sale, and they wanted quite a bit of money for it, and I offered them $200 an acre, which was a wonderful price compared to now.
Oh, sure. There's a difference in Whitley County.
Yeah.
Property values.
And I got that 40 acres for $8,000.
Wow. And now you're a millionaire.
But it was just what I wanted. There was a ravine ran down through there, and just a wasteland, and I made a little pond out of it, stocked with fish, and that's a change in Whitley County.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I got some beautiful fish out there.
Now, did you had to stock it then?
Oh yeah. I had Dick Reimer build a dam, and then I had him extend the pond. I saw that the water, the quantity of water was going to support the pond, so I had him make it bigger. And gosh, I've got some beautiful fish out there.
Did you get them like from Tri-Lakes Fish Hatchery?
No,
or?
I forget who but they shipped it in they shipped it in to me in plastic bags with oxygen in them.
Oh my!
Yeah.
So then, did you have to float them for a couple days?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Just a little while
until they adjusted. But the bluegills you could see through. They were only about this big.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, you could look right through them. Well, I've got bluegills out there like this now.
Oh my!
Yeah.
You have some good suppers then.
Yeah. I like fish. I got some catfish out there, 2-3 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah, chattel cat.
Well, they keep the bottom clean for you. They keep the bottom clean for you that
Oh,
way.
the pond is so supporting. I mean, I never feed the fish, and the pond is kept in balance. So, I take bluegills out, but no bass and no catfish. They keep the bluegills under control. A lot of people make a mistake of making their pond and not taking the bluegills out, and they'll get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you got a bunch of bluegills, about 10,000 bluegills about this big.
Are there any other man-made ponds out?
Oh yeah. Todd Jones is just north of me there, and he's got a nice big pond. It is nearly as old as mine. I would say maybe 10, 15 years old. But he's got a nice pond out.
So that helps the ecosystem out through your area as well. That way.
Well, actually, it's nice out there because now that the farming has cut down, there's a lot of interconnecting areas that the wildlife could travel.
Where they couldn't have before.
Right. It was just open cornfield. But it, like I say, I've got a lot of good wildlife out there. A lot of wildlife I could kill too.
Well, yeah. But you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, right. I've tried everything in the garden. This year I tried something new I think's working. I put down mothballs, dried blood, and CD discs.
They say the shiny.
Right. Those I think work.
Well, very good. Okay, what else we have? Can you think of any landmarks that have come and gone?
Oh yeah. Well, just like that big house. I'm trying to think of the name of the people where this family was out east, and the kids got into a bad company, and he brought out, cut a path out through here, and built this huge house. He brought the sawmill and everything out. And
oh my!
Built this house out of black walnut. And The only thing that's left out there now is a little marker that's been destroyed.
Oh my,
No, the-
Hazelcott.
Yeah, that's it, that's the name.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the name. That's
Yeah.
Hazelcott, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories about Hazelcott.
Yeah, we've got quite a few in the history files.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. A lot of the big farmers have expanded. A lot of the small farmers are going out of business.
Mm-hmm. We renovated uptown a little bit, put up the new government building.
Oh yeah.
Farmers Bank is gone.
Oh yeah.
That was a staple for many
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of changes in Columbia City, and most all of them are good. I mean, and there's South Whitley is existing, and then there's poor old Arwell.
Oh, now, I'm sure somebody will be there for time to come.
Well, they're having Squawbuck Days this weekend. So,
That is this weekend, yeah.
so that's history. I don't agree with a lot of their history, but I'm going to have to get my ducks in a row when I started talking to that Miami historian. So
That ought to be an interesting
Yeah.
day.
So,
That ought to be a real.
I don't know whether he'll agree with a lot that I put out, because there's so much. There has been in the past so much dissension between the Oklahoma and the Indiana Miami,
Mm-hmm.
because the Indiana Miami were allowed to stay and the Oklahoma were expelled. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of bad feelings there. But that's
Well, maybe you're working to mend those bridges or fences.
I think that it's turning out to the better. It looks like some of the local Miami are going out and joining in with the Oklahoma. I did, but it's a shame because they're all Miami.
Sure,
So
sure. Okay, well, if,
I can. Now when I leave here, I'll think of all kinds of things.
well, then you can write them down and we can do it again. That's not a problem. I'm here all the time.
Yeah, well, like I say, my history of Whitley County is very limited but I warned you that.
Yeah, but you gave us a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming to talk to us today,
Well,
and maybe we'll talk to you again.